All right, everybody. Mark Burgess here, Big East Bass Fishing. Today's video is going to be a tackle tip. Okay, so what I want to talk about is topwater. Topwater baits, different types of topwater bait. More importantly, when to throw the different types of topwater baits, where to throw the different type of topwater baits, and how at least I rig them. Okay, might be some variances from angler to angler on that. Okay, so topwater, right? Everyone, you've heard it a million times. Favorite way to fish, most fun, visual, right? It's awesome. Okay, it's a great way to cover water. It's a great way to find concentrations of fish. It's a great way to find fish and actually not hook them, but have them reveal themselves to you. So it could possibly be coming up off a bed, a deep bed, shallow bed, whatever you choose. Had it happen on both. Water clarity. How does that play into it? So we're going to get into it, okay? So as a general rule of thumb, for the most part, I have a topwater bait tied on pretty much year round. Now, year round for me in the Northeast is, say, March through November, okay? Little bit in December. January, February, first part of March. The last 10 years or so, yeah. You could fish year round, pick your days in the wintertime. Head down Cape Cod and have open water and some rivers and things like that, and you could fish. But for the most part, it's, say, March, mid to late March through November. All right, okay. So that's the time frame. Water temp. Pay close attention to that. When the water temp is in the 30s, I no throw top water. Okay? When the water temperature is in the 40s, I no throw top water. I'm thinking about it. Okay? But generally, no. When the water hits 50 degrees, a lot of things start happening, as you know. So I will start to throw top water. Okay, when the water's in the 50s. All right. Everybody knows I love to throw a buzzbait. I make my own buzzbaits. It's called a condition-specific buzzbait. Covers a tremendous amount of water. Puts a ton of fish in the boat. I mean, a lot of people use it to find fish and cover water and find where they're at and fish differently for them, and that's fine. I do the same thing, but it can be a major player all day, every day. Sun, clouds, doesn't really matter. So a traditional buzzbait. I like a skirted buzzbait. I always throw, this one does not, this is brand new. I do not have a trail hook on it, but I always, and I emphasize always, put a trail hook on my buzzbaits, okay? I use a little plastic tube as a keeper. I should have paid more attention and pulled one of those out for you, but mostly a gold blade, although I will throw a silver blade from time to time, but essentially I'll work through like a white translucent-y, goldish skirt to white chartreuse, covers a lot of different water clarity, to white silver skirt, to a black-red skirt. Almost all of them with that gold blade, oversized blade. I like to reel it, slow. The oversized blade keeps it up on top of the water better, allows me to reel it slower. And I get a tremendous amount of bites with this. So where to throw it? So here's the thing. I fish a buzzbait, for the most part, 100% of the time, now that I think about it, in shallow water. Okay, so what's shallow water? I'm going to say I'm throwing a buzzbait in 5 feet or less. around, in and around, close to cover, okay? I like to fish at edges, pockets of vegetation, alongside laydowns, wood, shallow rock, little rock piles, stone walls that come in the water, little rip-rappy looking stuff, okay? But for the most part, it's shallow, 5 feet or less. I'm throwing a buzzbait. And I'll match the, the skirt to the water conditions, and I have condition-specific buzzbait. So, if the water is heavily stained and muddy, I'm throwing, and it's sunny, I'm throwing that black-red skirt gold blade. Slightly, this white chartreuse gets it done almost in any water clarity. If it's really clear water, I'm throwing that white translucent gold with a gold blade. Real clear water, I like to throw the silver blade, white silver skirt, and that's how I'll basically match the color of the blade and the skirt to the conditions. Okay, 20-pound mono, 7-foot medium action rod is what I rig in. It's like a 7-to-1 retrieve reel. Again, I'm not using the reel, to reel it fast. It just, it's a place that gathers up the line. I don't want a slow retrieve, and I don't want too fast to retrieve, like 8 or 9 or 10-to-1, something like that. But I do like that, 7-to-1, because if you get a blow up on this, you want to reel it back as fast as you can to either, if they're really eating it, I'll throw the buzzbait right back there. If not, if they're just coming up and blowing up on it and they're not getting it, and they're typically a smaller fish, I want to get the bait back in and pitch back like a Senko style bait, Yum Dinger, or whatever, Berkeley General, follow-up bait, jig, what have you, to where the blow-up was. So you need a decent retrieve reel, speed retrieve reel to do that. Slow retrieve just doesn't get done. It takes too long to get the bait back in. All right, so that's when I throw a buzzbait. I typically do not throw a buzzbait in deep water, or trying to draw fish up in deep water. Okay, it just hasn't proven to be that effective. Okay, but I'm just an amazing tool, 5 feet or less, starting when the water's 50 degrees and up, all through the summer, especially in the fall, even the late fall. And it's just a great bait, great tool, great fish catcher. Okay, all right. Next, the opposite, a walking style bait. This is Zara Spook. This is real old school, and phenomenal fish catcher. Okay, there's a ton of variations of walking baits. Okay, hard to beat the original Zara Spook. Really, really is. Some of the older ones, like this, didn't come with split rings on them and crappy bronze hooks and stuff like that. So you have to, if you get in flea markets and things like that, in online eBay, you can find a lot of Zara Spooks, older ones. If you do buy them and they don't have a split ring connecting the hook to the bait, you can take that keeper off and attach a split ring, and you'll lose a lot less fish. Okay, so when am I throwing this bait? This bait typically comes into play after the buzzbait. This is like 60s, upper 60s, 70, 80 degree water all through the summer. Okay, deeper water. Typically not around the spawn. Post spawn, yes, but deeper water, deeper, clearer water. Okay, and now there's bigger versions of this, and I'll throw that up, like up on Champlain, a gold Zara Spook, the saltwater version. I'll throw that for those big smallies, and they just absolutely crush it. But it's typically post spawn, although during the spawn, I have caught plenty of smallmouth that come up off of deep beds. When I say deep beds, 10, 12, 14 feet deep, like up on Thousand Island, St. Lawrence River. They'll come up off that bed, usually the first go around, and eat a Zara Spook, or walking bait, if you will. But typically, like I said, deeper, clearer water, a little bit later in the season when I start to pick this up, water in the 60s and up. Okay, Zara Spook. Awesome tool. Great fish catcher, and it locates a lot of fish. Again, a little bit deeper, over deep grass, shoals, things like that. All right. So then we have our popper style baits. Okay, Rebel popper. This is real old school. I know guys pay a lot of money for these things. I got a bunch of them, and just a phenomenal bait. Okay. This is what a couple of the modifications I like to do. You know, if you get them, the bottom lip, okay, you shave that down. It's cupped usually almost as much as the top, not quite as much, but you shave that down so there's almost no lip to it, almost no cup. All right, because you don't want. And again, this will vary. Some people, I know people are gonna, you know, argue the point. I don't like the bloop, bloop. That's not me. Okay, me is like. Psh, 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 psh. Okay, it's spitting water like 1.5 feet, 2 feet in front of it, psh, but yet not moving very far at all. Real short, moving a lot of water out in front of it. Okay, fry garters. Okay, now I'm not talking about traditional, you know, like not traditional, but you know, popping frog rubber. That works. You can skip this back into a lot of places that you can't skip this. But totally different. This is a different bite altogether. I like to fish this almost stationary, like in a 3-foot circle, 3, 4, 5-foot circle at most of where I think a fish is. Target orientated cast, okay? Fry garters, okay? Buzzbait will catch fry garters too. But this right here, fry garters, okay? Around wood, around flooded brush, make an accurate cast. So true about letting this sit there. When you make that cast, let the rings disperse, okay? And it can be tough to do when they're really eating it, okay? But this right here, just an amazing bait. Of course, there's a lot of variations. You know, the Rico is really good, smaller profile. The end of rip wraps, the tail ends of island, actually tail end and front end, leading edge of islands in current. For smallmouth, really good. Small open patches of vegetation, cast this in there, let the rings disperse. And again, I like to give it short, quick jab, so it's more like psh, psh, all right, not bloop, bloop. I'm sure you'll catch them if you fish it, bloop, bloop, and the fish are gonna eat it, okay? That's great. If you do that and they eat it, keep doing it. I'm just telling you what I like to do. Shave that bottom lip, make it spit, okay? Phenomenal bait, okay? Been around for a long time. Next, prop bait. Old devil's horse. Again, some of these older, this is a wooden bait, hook rash, big player in Florida, down south, okay, but everywhere really. Modifications I make to it, if they have 2 props, one on the nose, one on the back, I take the blade off, okay? You could leave that blade on, and there's another little trick. You can slide a barber stopper up ahead of it on the line. That keeps the line from getting wrapped around behind the prop. A lot of times when you cast these, the line will go around the back of the prop, not work right, hook a big fish, break it off. And again, but 20-pound mono, okay, 20-pound mono. 20-pound mono. I'll scale back a little bit to get it to work a little bit. 15, 17-pound mono. Okay, because mono helps keep all these baits up on top of the water, provides a lot of stretch, very forgiving, should I get a little bit gun shy, trigger shy, and try to set the hook too soon, okay? But prop bait, phenomenal tool. When you're looking for spawning fish, and I can't believe I'm telling you all this, you can't beat it. Take all the hooks off it, or bend them in. You can bend them in if it's affecting the action of the bait. Take the hooks, bend them in so fish can't get hooked. They'll come up off the bed, crush this thing. Okay, so awesome way to fish for spawning fish if you don't want to sit there and look at them. If they're not pressured fish and you're the first one to get to them, they'll eat this. After they've had this in their face a few times, not so much. Okay, but that's typically, I will throw the prop bait starting with the spawn. Okay, so now you're talking 60-degree water, 65-degree water, and all through the summer. Shallow water, around vegetation. It has a lot of action in a short period of time. I use it quite a bit. Okay, so most of these baits, I mean, my top water bait, I'm throwing a 7'2" medium, maybe a medium heavy depending, but most of the time 20-pound mono, 7-to-1 gear ratio reel is how I fish these baits. Now I did pull out a poppin' frog, and I'm not talking top water bait. I don't consider a frog or a toad a true top water bait. They are top water baits. I know you're gonna say that. They are. But it's a different category bait altogether. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about frog fishing, toad fishing. If you were going to throw a toad a little bit, a lot of people put them on their buzzbait. Okay, zoom horny toad, put them on a buzzbait. If the buzzbait's a little too much for them, if you're feeling it's too much, and you'll feel it if it is, then you can go to a toad. It's a more finesse, subtle, quieter presentation. Again, but I'm throwing that on braid. I'm throwing that on a 50-pound braid, 50 to 65-pound braid, 4-aught hook, sometimes a little belly weight, a little 1/8 ounce belly weight, depending. That does come through vegetation, you know, better than a buzzbait. Okay, so you can use it for top water like that. Now this bait right here, you say, what's the difference between these two? This right here, 65-pound braid, the stuff I'm throwing it around. I could skip this thing. A lot of guys can skip this thing way back into these little nook, deep, dark, secret places and pull it out of there. This, of course, will sit in one location, as will this. This you could throw around anything. Up, over, on, into, around, in, through, whatever. This is coming back. Not so much, okay? But it's a completely different style bait, completely different look, different sound, and depending on where you're fishing, you could make the choice, okay? So that's my top water tackle tip for you. We are now the middle of June. It is 110% top water time. And just go ahead and have yourself a ball. Like I said, everybody loves it. It's their favorite way to fish, mine as well. So I wish you nothing but success. Have a blast. Get those top water baits out. You got any questions, shoot them to me. You guys have been fantastic with the questions. Keep them coming, and appreciate the support of the channel. We are getting there on the watch time. That's what we need. So again, thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you out on the water.